I think the Transforming Learning Conference, I think, is quite an extraordinary event because you bring people together that don't usually meet up with each other, exchange of ideas, communication. I think they get to see other best practice and they get to see what others are doing and maybe adopt some of those ideas.
So some of the keynotes have been extraordinary in terms of setting the scene, international trends, and then the practice sessions about how people actually do this when they're in the classroom is extraordinary.
So I think one of the really exciting things about being able to participate in a day like this or 2 days in actual fact, where you just take time out to talk about teaching and learning, is sharing ideas with your colleagues, talking to people that you don't often get to talk about teaching and learning. And so I think that's really precious.
It's a great opportunity. Swinburne offers conferences like this. You see the mix of people, which is one of the key aspects, is that we don't do enough mixing across disciplines. So these are one of the very few venues where people can legitimately come out and talk to others about their teaching practice in a very open space and learn a lot more about different disciplinary areas.
What I got out of presenting at the conference was getting people to ask me questions and question some of the logic behind my projects.
Honestly, I think for many Swinburne staff, both academic and support, they will see things from a new perspective.
Also getting me to think about other considerations and meeting other people who could possibly expand my project, expand the reach of the project.
People will come with many ideas and we've got many problems, so where do we actually start to put some effort and solutions towards? And it's a good venue to be able to trigger that.
So the Learning Transformations Conference, I think, is a fantastic opportunity as an academic here to be able to share what we're doing in the classroom and actually get feedback from others and see how that actually fits within the broader landscape of practices that's going on at Swinburne.
My name's Andrew Peters. I'm a lecturer in Indigenous Studies here and a Wurundjeri Yorta Yorta man. Being involved in this conference is really important to us as Aboriginal people because it gives us a chance to share our culture and to encourage others to use that culture and utilise Indigenous knowledge into every sort of teaching practice that they do.
It was very pleasant to see how people are actually engaged, how the academics, the leaders are actually engaged to prepare for the future.
I think you saw today that exchange of ideas, thought leaders coming in, the 3 keynotes, Mark Brown saying about blended learning being the new norm. You've got then Hamish talking about engagement is the key for measuring. And then you had Shane Dawson looking at the idea that we need to work on analytics, but no one is there as yet. And we actually have to look at evidence-based decision making.
Anyone who's teaching at any level needs to come to conferences like this. There are so many experts and people we can learn from that it's almost silly not to sort of attend something like this, which is chance meetings with people, for example, can just change the way you look at yourself and look at your teaching. It's awesome, yeah.
Probably one of the most extraordinary sessions I saw was the Indigenous strategy. And to me, I think we need to be all active in that space. As I said yesterday, we need to be involved in that narrative. I think Andrew Peters put it beautifully when he says, we're not doing it, and we know you're not doing it, so we're both in the same boat.
Look, I think the main thing is just because it's such a rapidly evolving space and blended learning and the flipped classroom and all of these different areas, I think it's important to keep pace with what everyone else is doing and see what you can potentially incorporate into your own teaching and learning.
Most impressive one so far, and we haven't finished yet, was the Aboriginal Learning and Teaching session. I thought that was extraordinary because it really showed the value of not just including Aboriginal perspectives in your work, but also how important that is for non-Aboriginal learners to understand the culture and place that we all work and learn in. And I also thought that their sand art demonstration was an amazing way of using art and culture and landscape in learning about science, technology, philosophy, and curriculum development through a diagram of drawing a turtle is something I will always remember.
For me, it was the notion from Andrew Peters that you are born on the land and that you're part of the land, and you should start to develop a better understanding of of the background to that.
Well, the standout for me is that the technology can drive the learning and education in a very positive way.
One of the other fantastic things about this is you get the theory and the practice.
General impression of the conference is really, really good. First, I think it brings the Swinburne community together.
The best thing about it is the networking. The networking is absolutely amazing.
How academics and peers, people in industry can all work together to really get the technology to work to benefit students.
One that really stood out for me though was the Indigenous panel. It was quite amazing and it just seemed so logical to be able to introduce the methodologies into the way we're already doing things.
I enjoyed it very much so far, and I myself learned quite a bit.
The big thing about these conferences, the celebration is incredibly important.
The veggie food was awesome. Damn, I hope you're going to edit that.